Yes. Okay, cool.
What's up, Tobert?
How's it going today?
Good.
Good. Excellent.
Getting ready?
It's antelope season's almost here.
I know. Go time next week. A little over a week.
A little over a week, yeah.
Nice. And elk season's right after that.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
going to start hammering.
Got my buddy here, Josi Young. He started bow hunting here 5-6 years ago, something like that. But
yeah, when I finally quit rodeo and I could have the time to go.
Yeah,
go
thanks
bow
for
hunting.
coming, Josi. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, real quick background of Josi and I, how we met. We met on an airplane. I was coming back when I was working in Alaska. Sat next to each other, and can't remember if we were flying to or back, whatever. But anyway, just kind of hit it off and spent a little time together, hunted some rock chucks, and got to meet his family and his dad and mom, and great family. Beautiful place he had out there. Lots of rock chucks.
Lots of rock chucks.
You don't get as much time to shoot like you were, huh?
There's enough rock chucks that I thought about opening up a little hunting camp, rock chuck hunting
Really?
camp.
Oh, that would be
Doing
fun.
Get rid of 'em, huh?
guided rock chuck too.
Right.
Yeah, we've actually a couple times tried to do a derby and just schedules just never worked out.
They don't allow me at the derbies anymore because I bring them in too many pieces.
Blow them up.
I brought one in a bucket one time.
Here's a foot.
Yeah. So, oh well. It's fun. It's fun shooting them.
So tell us, I know your dad was professional rodeo for 11 years, I know he's qualified for nationals 11 years, but he's been rodeoing probably about 30, 40 years, something like that before he retired.
Yeah, rodeo's deep in my family. My dad qualified for the National Finals Rodeo 11 times as a a contestant, but he's also been there, I think 8 or 9 times as a stock contractor, and he's also been there once as a pickup man. He's the only man to ever do that.
Really?
And so yeah, he's pretty accomplished that way. And
Mickey Young is his name.
Mickey Young, yeah. And I was raised around it. I mean, there's pictures of me from being an arm baby sitting on a horse, and so naturally that's all I wanted to do is rodeo.
Sure.
So, and I did.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
I remember when we were talking on in the plane, you were considering retiring, and I remember the comment you made. It stuck with me. Just like you're not all broken up. And I'm sure you probably got a few little aches and pains, but not like some. I actually guided with a couple guys that were pro rodeo guys, and in their 20s. I mean, they were saddle bronc riders, and they would they'd be eating the ibuprofen like whatever, like breakfast, just because they were hurting so bad. But I'm glad you're still.
Yeah, I had kind of an injury-stricken career. I felt like I could have made the finals more than I did if I could have stayed healthy. I got on a bad streak there for a while. 2008 was when I qualified for the National Finals Rodeo. Winning number 5 in the world, had a shot to win the world that year. Very first go round, it's 10 performances, 10 consecutive nights, and very first round I break my pelvis. And I end up riding 5 more rounds with a broken pelvis, which was probably some of the roughest pain I've ever went through. It was pretty. I mean, it's right there where you use it to squeeze. You use your core muscles off your pelvis. I mean, it's pretty painful. Not to mention, just the horse bucking himself.
Yeah, every time it bucks.
And jolting your pelvis is not very fun. But anyways, I took some time off there, and I come back the next season and was having a pretty good year, and I was at Yuma, Arizona. I guess I took a full year off, and I come back the next year and Yuma, Arizona in February, and actually win the rodeo. Had a horse try to jump the fence with me after the whistle blew, and I broke my right leg, tib fib break, broke it right in half. My foot was laying on the side of my thigh. So yeah, broke it pretty bad. So that ruined that year, and so I come back the next year and was having a pretty good year. Actually went to Preston, Idaho. We were at Preston Night Rodeo the night before I was up at Cheyenne. We were just going to hit that and then go on to Cheyenne. And I had a horse fall down with me. I ended up getting a re-ride. I got on my re-ride, and when the horse was leaving the bucking chutes, hooked my toe in the slat of the bucking chutes and trapped my toe. And then when he jumped straight up, it just wrenched my foot on backwards and broke my opposite leg that I just healed up from. So that ruined another year. And then it was just, the next couple of years, I just missed making the finals. Just kind of started hovering around that,
almost making it,
and just, But what I like to contribute that, on a positive note was, it made my mindset like a fort. It just fortified things where, because that can screw with your brain.
Well, yeah,
big time.
Yeah,
and so. I didn't go on and qualify to the NFR anymore after that. I qualified for the Canadian National Finals. They only take 2 Americans a year up there. And
that's pretty cool.
I was able to get qualified up there and went to that finals. And so, it was fun. Rodeoing was awesome. It allowed me to meet people all over the country and travel. And so I'm glad I did it, but I'm glad I'm where I'm at now.
Yeah. That's good. So. And you're young enough, still got a lot of years left that you...
Oh, yeah. Do
you have a lot of pain then?
I was fortunate enough to have the health industry in my family. And so, I as soon as I get off the pain pills and the pharmaceuticals, I did and took a more natural route. Oh. And my body feels good.
Good.
I probably need to work out a little more than I do these days. But I used to work out 6 days a week still, but now it's kind of back to 1 or 2.
Life gets busy.
I better not go hunting right now because I'll probably die. I need to start working out a little more. So
yeah. Well, it's coming up. So in your family, you did grow up in the outdoors too. You guys, I know your dad, when I did meet him and, got to talking to him, he's quite the enthusiast when it comes to guns and that type of thing. And the long range thing I know he's getting into. And have you as well got into the long range shooting much? Or
not as much as him. I'm so busy anymore. He's kind of halfway retired, so he can kind of enjoy it a little more. But no, he got to loving the long range deal probably 6-7 years ago, I would say.
Yeah,
and he's got some nice guns, and he's got some good guidance from, it's one thing about my dad is if he's going to do something, he wants to make sure he's got the best stuff, and he wants to make sure he gets the best advice that he possibly can, which is it's a great thing to do. Just like me, I leaned on you and Caleb and stuff to get me set up.
Yeah.
When I started bow hunting. So, but yeah, he loves to do it, and he's getting good at it.
Good.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You enjoy bow hunting then?
I do enjoy bow hunting. It's difficult. It's challenging.
Frustrating.
And like I said, the rodeo and fortifying my brain. It's a good thing it happened because there's some times when you go bow hunting where it can be a little frustrating.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're, I know for people who primarily grew up around like rifle hunting where you don't have to get as close, and then when you start bow hunting, it's a different.
Well, I got spoiled a little bit. The first bow hunt I went on, a buddy of mine, he's Mickey Thomas. He lives up in Chalice, and his family, they own a ranch. It's the last ranch. I don't remember the name of the roads and stuff, but if you're familiar with Chalice, so you know where the rodeo grounds is at Chalice. There's that forest road that goes up through there, and his family's ranch is the last ranch before you go into
Forest
Service, National Forest Service. Yeah. And he says, bring your horses up, and he says you can park your trailer right here at the ranch. And I literally drove my living quarters horse trailer up. I took 6 head of horses, and my horses had a nice pen at the barn. I plugged my living quarters horse trailer in, so I wasn't staying in a wall tent. And I got up, 4:00 in the morning and put the coffee on, and had a nice breakfast. And then we'd take the 4-wheeler to the top of the mountain, leave the horses at the barn, took the 4-wheeler to the top of the mountain, get off from there and hunt down.
Oh, gotcha.
And the very first day, I got into there was a couple spikes come in, and I was like, nah, it's first day, I'm not going to shoot me a spike on the first day. Right. So, we got to looking around a little bit, and we found a bull with a little herd of cows, and he said, let's try to get in on that one. And, he wouldn't separate from them cows. We was trying to lure him out, and he wouldn't separate. And so we ended up hiking around this ridge and got in closer to him. And I was set up where I had some good shooting lanes, and we still couldn't lure him over. And finally he's like, let's hike across this little opening here. And I got about 10 steps into this opening, and I'm like watching where I'm putting my feet, because this is something new that I've never done. I mean, I'm used to shooting stuff out there, 300 to 500-600 yards.
Yeah. And this was your very first bow hunt, right?
This is my very first bow hunt, and the reason I'd never been on a bow hunt before is because my rodeo season that's the last month of my rodeo season. Yeah. And so I could never get away. Because
rodeo, I mean, seriously, like once you start, if you're really into it, it's virtually almost every weekend, isn't it?
So I used to go to 100 rodeos a year.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea. And September 30th is when the season ends.
Last day of elk season.
Yeah, exactly. So
most places.
So that's the reason I'd never bow hunted.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm watching where I'm putting my feet in this opening, so I didn't make any loud noises. And anyways, I hear my buddy like behind me kind of whispering at me. He's like, stop. And I look up, and here comes this bull that we've been trying to get to us. Finally, when I start to go to him, he starts to come to us. I was like, so I just like take them steps backwards and get on this log, and he's cow calling him a little bit, and he comes up, and
was a bull bugling?
Bull's bugling, and I mean right there.
I was gonna say, had you ever experienced that close encounter?
Not that close.
Yeah,
not that close. I mean, I've heard a lot of bulls bugle in the outdoors, and there might be up a canyon or something like that. It's one of my favorite things to hear out in the wilderness. But
when it's in your face like that, it's
when you're talking 30 yards, he was bugling. I was like, that's pretty cool,
right?
But he come through there, and I didn't have a good shot at him. He's kind of coming straight on to me a little bit. Finally he turns and kind of starts to go up this hill, and he's coming across, and like I had to draw back, like my bow was down, I'm drawed back like in this position. And I mean, I don't know, I'd never done it before, but I just literally like I'm just holding it and just coming real slow, and it was just, the whole experience was just super cool, because I'm like, man, I gotta be stealthy here, and I literally bring it from right here all the way over here, and he's 15 yards broadside, like right here.
Not looking at you?
Not looking at me, but he's still walking. And and my buddy, he's bow hunted. I mean, he's just such a avid hunter. I mean, he's killed, just like you guys. I mean, he's killed everything underneath the sun almost. And as soon as he sees me get where I need to be, he just whistled at him, and he stopped. Pow! And I sent it home and double lunged him, and
nice.
He whirled, and he went by about 30 yards and just laid over.
Awesome.
And so, man, I was just like, that was freaking awesome. That was like,
I remember when you sent me the picture. I was like,
short of my children's births, that was right. Like, I said, I mean, I called everybody. I was like, man, I'm never rifle hunting ever again. Bow hunting. So, so that was a good experience. But then, the next 3 seasons really kicked my butt.
Did you hunt with him again?
Yeah, I did hunt with him year before last. We went again. We went over there by Sublet.
Okay.
And I actually we only seen one bull, and he seen us first, and he kind of got on the run, and it was kind of a tough hunt. But I got some inside tracks on another bull that was a nice bull that a buddy took some pictures before
Season.
He says he's hanging out there in that area, so you got to.
That was that year you went
That
over there.
was
You
that
mean?
year, yeah. And my other buddy couldn't go over there. But do you know Mitch Pollock? He's a bronc rider, but he hunts a lot. And he had a tag over there in that region too. And anyways, I says it was the last day of hunting season. I said, man, I got to go up and try it again. So he was already up there, and I says, I'll come meet you the next day. I said, there's a big bull in that region, but I said, I'm not going to tell you where they think he is until I get up there.
You're learning. All right.
I says, if you happen to stumble across him first and I'm there, great. But I said, I want to have a shot at least two. Well, I had planned to meet him early the next morning, and he sent me a picture right at dark. And I had just loaded all my stuff. I was ready to roll the next morning, and he had got that freaking bird.
Oh, I was going to say, I hope that story didn't go.
But you want to know the funny part of this is? I said, tell me the story. How'd it go down? He says, we were hunting all day. He says, I seen a bunch of cows, no bulls anywhere to be found. He says, me and my brother were split up. He says he was on a couple ridges over. I was here. He says it was getting dark. He says, I'm over it. Screw it. I'm going back to the truck. So he starts hiking back to the truck. He gets 50 yards from the truck and hears some, you know what kind of country that is. It's not real thick country. Yeah. And he says, I heard something. He says, so I look up and I just seen some antlers. And so he says, I got an arrow out, and he says the sucker trotted 50 yards or 30 yards from me, and he says, I just whistled at him and shot him.
Really?
I said, shut up. You're screwing with me. He says, I'm not kidding. He says he literally trotted by the truck.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I said, are you freaking serious? He says, yeah. He says, I quartered him out, and he says, I was 10 steps from the truck.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness. How come I never get that lucky?
Yeah, really.
Like, are you kidding me? So, anyways.
That's about as good as driving to it.
Yeah, so.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, that was a pretty funny story, I thought. So.
You know what's funny is I've seen it happen with turkeys, I've seen it happen with elk, and I've seen it happen with antelope, and herd, actually, I guess, more so with antelope, but they don't really pay that much attention to vehicles. Yeah. They just don't. I've seen turkeys strutting 10 yards from my vehicle when I'm walking back. I know guys who have parked on an antelope, like a water hole, to deter them from going there. Mm-hmm. And they're on another water hole, and they look over, and they're drinking at the one by their vehicle. Yeah. Saw that happening this year.
Yeah, in fact, I did that one time out where we antelope hunt. I parked on one hole because I was out there by myself, and I wanted to try and keep them to come to the hole I wanted to hunt. And I stayed the night on that hole. Well, I'm standing next to my truck. I'd set my blind up, left my bow and my blind and everything, and here comes a buck. He walks to like 30 yards of me and drinks, and if I had my bow with him, I'd have shot him standing right next to my truck, but I left it in my blind. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This isn't gonna work very well.
That was the biggest thing about that hunt that I was on over there, is it was tough to find water. Oh. And we finally found this little spring. I'd done some research on it and found this little spring, and it was hard to find. Like, it was just not very noticeable. Mm-hmm. And
was it clobbered?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of moose there too. Oh. And we found it right before dark. And I told that buddy of mine, Mickey, that was with me, I says, let's just stay the night right here. I had the Can-Am. I just parked it right there. And I said, let's just stay right here. Well, I don't know why. I kind of got up underneath a tree and set my bedroll down. And I was like, I'm just going to, and it was, I don't know, maybe 10 feet from my Can-Am. Mm-hmm. Well, he's like, I'm going to go set out here in the open. I don't know why he did it, but in the middle of the night, I hear this moose coming down the trail.
Oh, no.
And he's just grunting as he's coming down, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, this ain't going to be good. Well, this sucker, he come right by me. I mean, he had to have seen my Can-Am. That's why I had the Can-Am there, because I was thinking, okay, if there's any moose coming in the middle of the night, I want to be able to get under my Can-Am if I have to.
There you go.
You know, and shoot, this sucker come up and sniffed on my buddy's toes. And,
Really?
Oh, I said,
bull?
Yeah, a decent sized bull. I'm thinking. I told him the night before. I says, you want to be out there in the open with one of them if they come?
Yeah, I had that happen one time too. We had flown into the backcountry and we were hunting elk, and we were sleeping. We threw a tent out right by the plane, and in the middle of the night, there was a moose on the outside of the tent, pushing it up against my face, trying to smell me.
Really?
Yeah, scared the. I thought it was a bear.
They're intimidating.
Yeah.
They are,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
when
so
you get
big.
up that close,
And these aren't even the big ones.
Yeah,
you go to
right.
Alaska and they're
massive.
yeah, insane.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was eventful.
Was it a big bull that he got?
The
The
moose.
one that you were gonna go after?
Oh yeah, he was a good one. he was damn sure a mount.
Really?
bull. Yeah. Yeah. No, he was a good one.
Now, didn't you go on a gun hunt last year? Was it?
I did. So I've got a buddy that is one of my best friends growing up in high school, Dustin Looper. He bought a ranch in South Dakota, kind of by Edgemont, South Dakota, southwest.
Okay.
And he's been after me and my dad for a few years now to come over there and hunt with him. And he gets a depredation tag every year.
Oh, okay.
And he's got, I think 500 and some odd acres there. And my dad, believe it or not, had never shot an elk.
Really?
He shot a ton of deer and other animals, but because he was raised in central or southern Utah, and they just deer hunted all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, let's go over there. I said, because either I could have shot him or my dad. I said, you have the first right. You've never shot one. I think it'd be cool for you to shoot one.
Yeah.
But if anything happens, I'll play backup.
Yeah.
And so we went over there, and I like to say that my bow hunt was the easiest hunt I ever went on, but this might have been the easiest hunt I ever went on. And
Was it a bull or cow?
It was a bull.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, good bull too. I hate to say it, but he didn't shoot the biggest one.
Really?
Yeah, later in the day we found one that was really. I mean, this is a nice bull, but the one that he left on the table was a really nice bull.
At least he got one.
No, yeah, he did. But we got there. Shoot, it was probably 10 o'clock at night. We drove all day. Got there at 10 o'clock at night to his ranch, and I mean, he's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, he's 30 miles from the nearest town, and that town's just a one-horse town.
Is it?
So we pull in there, and we get to bed, and wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he cooked breakfast and had coffee on, and we visited for a little bit, and it's getting close to daylight, and I'm like, man, don't we need to get going and get set up somewhere? Or he's like, no. He's like, trust me, we'll walk from here. I said, we're gonna walk from the ranch. I brought my Can-Am. Like, we can go wherever you want to go. He said, no, we'll walk from here. We literally left the ranch, started walking. We didn't walk an eighth of a mile, and I hear bulls bugling already. I was like, all
What
right.
time of year was it?
It was September.
Was it? Oh, nice. So they're bugling still.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and so we walk in there, and we cut off the trail that we're on and start walking. And the country over there is really cool country. Mm-hmm. Lots of trees, but they're real spread out.
Oh.
Like they're not like here, like you
Real
can
thick.
get real thick timber. I can't remember what kind of tree it is, but it's some sort of a pine tree, but it's it's
Different than the ones we
it's
got.
different. Yeah.
I know which ones you're talking about. I've seen through there.
It'd be a bow hunter's dream over there because there's just shooting lanes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Here when you get in that thick stuff, it's becomes a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we start walking, and I mean, it was so cool. We sat down, and he started ripping off some bugles, and man, these bulls started coming from every direction.
Really?
I'm telling you, like some younger bulls are come trotting in there, and they'd bugle, and then they'd trot out of there, and then here'd come another one. I mean, there's bulls everywhere.
That's cool.
And so we set up, and you could just hear this one bull was just deeper. You know, he had that deeper bugle, and them other young bulls were more high pitched, and so you kind of tell. And we waited for that other one to come in, and I thought my dad he got down, and he was just kind of looking through. I thought he was just looking through his scope, and then all of a sudden, boom! I was like, whoa, we should just check him out a little bit. Well,
right,
but he was ready to down one, and he did. He
had your dad experience that before, like the bugling, that action like that?
No, like we'd been up hunting in the past, like when I was younger, you know, deer hunting or something, and you'd hear bulls bugle, but I don't think he had heard anything that close. Yeah, you know,
it's different, different when they're that close. Like,
and I had my boy with me too, so it was fun. Awesome. I had him right next to me, and I've got some video on my phone of all this. I videoed all of it. I videoed him shooting, and
cool.
And so it was pretty fun to experience that and let my boy experience that.
Nice.
Now it kind of, because my boy hadn't really showed a lot of interest in like going out and hunting, but after that he was like, wow, that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
So it kind of got him into it. He shoots and stuff at the house, but he never really got to experience being out in the field, you know, so he liked that. I took him one time on a hunt, and of course the day I take him, it's, you know, it's sleeting and raining, and he's too cold, and we was walking through this tall brush, and you know, you're just soaked from the waist down,
which for him's from the chest down, probably.
Yeah, right.
How old is he now?
Well, he's 10 now. He turns 11, but he was 8, I think, at that time, 7 or 8, and I kind of ruined him a little bit.
That'll wreck him. I did that to my kids too.
Yeah, so. I think like when it comes to kids, but you just never know how it's going to be. Yeah. But their first experience can, and fortunately it didn't break them. But I mean, there's some kids that go out that one time and they're just like, I don't want any part of this forever, you know. And so that first experience can be, try to make it obviously as positive as you can, because it locks them in, for lack of better terms, you know. Then it was a positive thing, and that's good that he made with your dad, you know, kind of made up for it, and good. Yeah,
he's really kind of turned the another leaf a little bit. He's really coming out of his shell and starting to rodeo quite a bit.
Is he
having some? He's liking riding these mini bulls.
Nice.
He's winning a lot too.
Is he?
So he's actually
I've
doing
seen
really
some
well.
of the stuff you've posted.
Yeah.
When I remember when I've been around him, he was pretty shy.
Oh yeah, he don't say a lot. You know, he reminds me of my grandpa a lot.
Really?
My grandpa didn't say a whole lot, but when he did say something, you better listen, because it meant something. You know. Yeah. And so, him and my dad, my boy and my dad, have a really, really tight bond. They're like best friends, and it's kind of cool to see, because my grandpa's passed away now, and so if you look at pictures of when my grandpa was my boy's age, they look a lot alike.
Oh wow!
Yeah, awesome. And they act a lot alike.
Awesome.
So it's fun to see. It was almost like my grandpa just hand delivered him. You know?
Yeah.
So
cool. He can start hunting now. He's 10, over 10. So good. It's good. Did he get his license yet?
No, not yet. I gotta get on that. Dad fail.
Correct. Easy to do.
Yeah.
So.
And then now, like, I know your dad had started a business. It's an organic or natural.
Yeah, so we produce an herbal health product for horses. So my dad started mainly in the horse industry. Like I said, he was a stock contractor for many years. My grandma was a naturopath for people for many years, and he learned a lot of that from my grandma. But you know, my grandpa was he worked for the BLM. And he was raised around the Navajo Indians in southern Utah. He actually in the World War II, he was one of the translators for they used to use Navajo language.
Yeah. So he knew Navajo then.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So my grandpa was super knowledgeable about natural remedies and things that grew on the land. I mean, I remember walking with my grandpa when I was younger, irrigating pastures and stuff, and he'd be like, "You know what that plant is?" And I said, "No," and he'd tell me what it was and what it was used for and what it did and stuff. So
that's cool.
You know, our philosophy is that we offer variety back into the system. It used to be back in the olden days, you know, we could kick our horses out. They'd self-medicate. It's just like deer or elk or antelope or anything. You know, that's how they stay healthy. They've got variety to choose from. And I've actually seen deer that we've shot and killed who had old gunshot wounds that were stuffed full of herbs.
Really?
Yeah. So they'll go and pick them and stuff them in those wounds if they can reach them because they know what they need.
That's interesting.
And anyways, so as time went on, mankind have put the fences up, and now they don't have that variety, and we throw hay over the fence to them every single day and
give them synthetic.
It's
a lot of people give them synthetic remedies instead of natural, right?
Yeah, and so it's like if I give you a steak and potato every day to eat, it's like, man, that steak and potato is nice. It sounds good, but at a certain point, your body's going to start rejecting and say, hey, I need some vegetables. Sure. I need some greens. I need this and that. It's the variety that does the whole job.
Right.
Just like if you was just to eat vegetables all the time too.
Right.
Like there's things that your body's going to lack. You ever go to the fridge and crave something, whether it be hot peppers or, maybe it's some sort of vegetable or something, or yogurt. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's your body's telling you need something. So that's basically what we do, is package the variety. Now, as time went on, and we have a very extensive line, the product's called Silver Lining Herbs, but we have about something for everything that can go on in the horse world. Whether it be, navicular, ring bone, open wounds, immune issues, kidney, liver. I mean, we've got it all. So as time went on, people started giving it to their dogs because they seen what it did to their horses. So then we released a dog line. So we have a full canine line, and then same thing with the people. They started taking the canine line off label because they're like, man, my immune system feels taxed. So
really,
we've seen the need at some point to produce a human product, and which all of our products are all human grade herbs. Our facility is extremely clean. We're FDA registered and certified, and so now
there again, when your dad did it, he did it right from the start.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many years has it been now?
22 years.
Really?
Yeah. He started it in 2000 or 99. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, 22 years, and now he's retired, and I'm right in the middle of buying the business from them, and the product has always been outstanding, but I've just taken that knowledge I've learned from my dad, and we continue going with it. But where I come in, I said, where am I going to put my stamp on this business? What am I going to do to create my own legacy and stuff? And what do we need to do to make it get out of obscurity? And I started following mentors that would help me grow and scale business, because I don't want to stay in this tight niche group. I think it's unethical to have this product that we have and not let the masses hear about it and know about it, because it truly changes lives and it saves lives. I mean, we have testimonies every single day of people like, man, you turned my horse around, you saved my dog's life. I feel better than I ever have before, whatever it might be. And so it's like, man, how do we get this out to everybody? And so I started learning. I started following a guy by the name of Brandon Dawson. Are you familiar with Grant Cardone?
No.
So he has the 10X brand. Grant is
10X as in.
Well, that's his deal, is 10X everything you do, 10X your business, 10X, the way you live life. And he's branded the 10X brand. Okay. But he's really big. Like, he's a very successful businessman. He's got a $5.5 billion. But he's big on sales and marketing and real estate.
It's a marketing type of stuff.
But Brandon is big on growing and scaling business. He has a huge passion, the same passion I have for the health industry, he has for helping business owners grow and scale business.
Oh.
So he had sold his last business at 77 times EBITDA at 155 million was what it was on paper at, but it was actually 185 million. But this guy just knows his crap. And so 2 years ago, I just got a notification, a memory from 2 years ago. I went to his first seminar. So 2 years ago, I went to his first deal, and it was a lot of money to go to it. And I said, I'm just going to commit, and we're gonna go forward and just give this a good shot. Well, now 2 years later, we have grown and scaled the business, more than double.
Good.
More than double, and we're still growing. We're still expanding, and now I'm partnering with Brandon on some things.
Awesome.
They've asked me to be the president of another vertical that they're doing on the farm and ranch industry. And so it's all just kind of come together, and it's all from committing to something, going all in. And I think you can relate that to anything you do. It's like, I can relate it to bow hunting massively, because you're not just going to go stand off the side of a trail and hope something comes to you.
You're right.
I mean, this is a commitment.
Yeah.
You got to go all in.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put the time in, get out there before hunting season and do some scouting. And, you got to go places nobody else really wants to go. Right? It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did in business. And I'm super excited for the future. I mean, we're young, and we're gonna continue to do this.
Marketing is like the key thing, the biggest one.
Yeah, just like this podcast, it's like getting your message out.
Yeah.
And how do we do it more?
And speaking of that, you do have a podcast also, right?
I do. Yeah, it's a podcast called Tack Room Talk, and what we do on Tack Room Talk is, our mission statement at Silver Lining is that we deliver natural health products and education that helps people provide optimal care to themselves and their animals. And so the education part is huge for us. We want to make sure that people are having the ability to know what we do. And so every other podcast, we do some sort of an educational, like whether it be product or something that might go on inside the horse's body, our body, the dog body, whatever it is. And then the other podcasts are all guests, whether it be in the rodeo industry, business, I mean, you name it. We got a little variety of everything.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing the podcast?
We've been doing the podcast about a year and a half now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You do it with somebody or?
Yeah. So the guest stuff I do by myself, and the educational stuff I have my sales and marketing manager, Chance Shutnick. So every once in a while he'll jump in on a guest
as
appearance.
Well. Yeah.
Depends on who we got. So.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy the podcast, having conversations, getting knowing people a little better.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. Like even our podcast here, I know there's been a few people that are kind of a little bit nervous about being on. It's like we're just talking is all we're doing, and
having a conversation. I remember when I started my podcast, like I just look around and like I was scoping your guys' mics and gear and stuff like that. Because like I remember I got a notification the other day. I guess it's been 2 years then, because if I got that notification the other day, then that would have alerted me 2 years ago. But I looked at my first equipment that I had, and I was like, golly.
Right.
What a rookie. that guy's a rookie.
Yeah.
So,
You start somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Do you film your podcast too? Or
We do. Yeah. A lot of times we do. But sometimes, I just took the family to Jackson Hole this last weekend. And there's a rodeo that we go to every week up there and let the kids rodeo. So we go, twice a month, and I've got some Bluetooth mics I can just stick on somebody. Yeah. So if I see somebody, because that's the thing is like you never know when you're going to run into somebody or who you'll meet or anything. I can be like, hey, you want to do a podcast with me right quick?
Yeah.
And a lot of time, I mean, there's sometimes I've done like 15-minute podcasts with
Yeah.
somebody.
Right.
Just ask some real strategic questions. Thanks for coming on. I don't waste their time or
Yeah.
nothing like that, because if I catch them, it's not planned.
Right.
And we'll try to get those podcasts because it's all content that you may never get the opportunity again.
True.
Exactly.
You know? So I keep my setup in-house. I've got a nice little studio there, and then we have our mobile stuff that I can kind of take.
We're actually going to do our podcast coming up here out at the Antelope Camp around the campfire. We're going to do on your.
Well, that's the thing. I've got probably 3 setups. I guess I got my in-house, and then I've got a nice setup that I can take mobile, so that we like that kind of a situation, or the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
You know, here real quick, like put this on, let's record something.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll just have whoever's around just film it on my phone or something, so that we can have that.
That's a good idea. The
Yeah.
quick ones. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah,
idea.
because you just never know when you're gonna.
This turned from a podcast to a brainstorming session.
Right. You never know where it's going to lead, right?
You never can learn enough either. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, we certainly don't know it all.
Yeah, you know, but that's the biggest thing is people are afraid to commit. We talk about committing. Like the first thing you need to do is commit and then figure it out.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that want to talk about it but won't be about it. They
Right.
won't commit.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and there's people as a whole. The society is not being taught to commit.
Right.
Right? Just
People like to say no.
Yeah.
Or, like you said,
yeah, it's easier to just sit back, but you know, rewards are greater if you commit and move forward. Right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Good. Good.
for sure.
What do you got? Do you have some hunts planned up this year? Or?
I do not. I've
so busy right
I've
now.
been so busy. Yeah, like we're right in the middle of this acquisition and we're the partnership with these other guys and like so much crap, and then the selling of my place. We might be selling it. I don't necessarily. It's not going to hurt my feelings if it doesn't sell because I love my place, but
You're just enough off grid. What I liked about it is enough off grid. You do have some good amount of acres, but I also get because there's stuff to do when you got that many acres and
it just kind of keeps you hobbled, at this point in time. I mean,
you got Arizona you got going on, so you're gone.
I mean, we're going to be
somewhat.
headed to Arizona here, shooting another, probably the end of October we'll be headed down there.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to get into, I'm kind of big on, wanting to build a new house and, when you build one, then you're like, crap, I should have done that.
You had that one built, right?
Yeah, the one we're in. But immediately, you're not in it 3 weeks, and you're like, God, I did not think about that. Why did I think about that? So it'd be kind of nice to. I seen a really cool gun room the other day on TikTok or something, and I was like, man, I gotta build that. It was like a man room, like it was a big room, had a nice safe door on it, and
concrete
and
all
you
around.
can open it from the inside, and big concrete. I'm talking like a 500 square foot room.
Wow, I've
all
seen those.
Guns on the wall, and had a little bar in the corner.
Oh
and,
wow!
I was like. My wife might never see me unless she wants to come down and visit.
Or dinner.
Yeah, dinner.
Well, that'd
Might
be a
have
lot
to
of
build
fun.
one of them little chutes where she can just drop it.
There you go.
Yeah,
And a laundry suit to go up.
yeah. So,
Cool. Awesome. Well, hopefully you can get some hunting maybe next year.
tell you the truth, I probably won't do any bow hunting this year, just because of my time restraints. I'll probably go, because my wife always is like, "Are you gonna go get some meat this year?"
Did she like it, by the way?
She did. She really liked. She's still trying to warm up to the steaks. But like, she loves the roasts and the burger and the spicy sausage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She loves that. Funny story. My mother-in-law. I love them mother-in-laws, right? She does not eat wild game. Like, she loves meat. She'll eat steaks and stuff like that. I said, man, I says, try some of this elk steak. I said, I think you'll like it. And she's like, no, absolutely not. She goes, I'll throw up. I said, why? I said, this is as clean as you get right here.
Yeah.
I said, I'm the one who harvested this. I said, I cleaned it. I said, I packed it out. I know exactly where it's been. I know, I've seen the land that it was eaten off of. I know how clean it is.
Yeah.
I said, you won't get any cleaner than this. She wouldn't do it.
They're not used to that. They're used to the processed. Yeah.
She was in town one time, and my wife's cooking dinner, just going about her normal deal. And I knew she was making this soup that had this spicy sausage in it that was elk sausage. And I'm like, I didn't say a peep. I'm just sitting there going, I hope my wife does not tell her that this has elk in it. And so she serves dinner. We're going down, and she's just ranting and raving about how tasty this soup is. And
awesome.
I waited till she got about 3/4 of the way through it, and I said, so you do like that elk? And she goes, what? And I said, that's elk sausage. And she goes, oh my gosh. I said, don't act like you're grossed out, because I said, I know you've enjoyed it. You've told me 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
So I like to say that I finally got my mother-in-law to eat wild game.
Did she admit it was good then?
She says, it's good, but I can't do it anymore now that I know. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was funny.
The joke is always at my house is somebody asks what it is, I just say it had parents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. But you just never know. I mean, when you go to the grocery store, you don't know where it's.
And I've said for years, and I wish all we did have is American beef, American lamb, and American meats. And so many times you hear of all they have to do is they could bring it in from any other country and grain feed it for 90 days, whatever it is, and they consider it U.S. beef or whatever. Yeah. And you have no clue what's been shot into it. Yeah. Could have been eating a car in another country. You don't know what it's been eating. And at least here, the local ranchers in the U.S., it's getting fed good. And
well, I'm if I don't have deer or elk in my freezer, then I usually try to either buy, a half a steer or something off of somebody I know, or help a 4-H kid out or something like that. That way you kind of know where it's
and like them 4-H animals and FFA animals, those things, they're fed nothing but the best.
So no, it's good. I am a meat eater. I love to eat meat.
Yeah, your whole family does.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I could eat steak every day.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of with you on that there.
Yeah. So my wife, she's a chicken eater.
Is she?
I said, you are what you eat. You know that, right? So.
Right on. Well, we appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy man, and I know we've talked about getting together, but you committed.
I committed.
And we appreciate that very much. And,
big time, That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love
interesting.
That. Best of luck with, I know Silverling and your other venture is going to do good. So.
Well, we got to get together and shoot some rock chucks again.
Yeah, we do. We do. I know they're about ready to go in this year, but maybe next year we'll figure out something. Maybe. Are you really banned from the Rock Chuck Derby?
No.
Okay, good.
They just give
we should really try doing that.
They give me a lot of crap. I'll just have to use a different round.
Yeah.
So.
What do you normally use?
Oh, shoot. I was just shooting my 5.56.
Oh.
I was using some green tips that were...
A little explosive?
They were blowing them up.
Yeah, we'll have to get out there for sure. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that was a kick in the
Maybe we can throw a bow hunt together sometime. You're down in Arizona. I mean, you're down there for usually till after January, right?
And tell you what, I'm probably gonna buy a winter home down there this year. So if I get some residency, maybe we can.
Yeah, you're in a good area. I know some people. In fact, last year I was through.
There's some good bulls down there.
Yeah, and there's some great, good javelina and mule deer hunting around there.
Yeah.
I know some people are.
The coyotes are a little peaked.
Are they?
Oh yeah, I think I could kill one with throwing a rock.
Really?
Oh, they're not big stout coyotes like you see up here. Definitely not as big as some of them coyotes that people see every once in a while. Them wolves.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. So
well, cool. We'll get together for sure, man.
Perfect. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Yeah,
All right,
for
John.
sure.
We're done.
Yeah,
Another one in the books.
we got some giveaways we'll be talking about, and then see you in Antelope Camp.
Yes, sir. It's coming.
Okay. Talk to you later. Thanks for
guys.
watching. Appreciate the subscribe and smash the like button.
Button.
Peace.